I know that a lot of you want to get on the boat as soon as possible on the day of your cruise. You're excited to get to deck 11 and drink that cocktail. Totally understand. So hopefully the tips that I'm going to share with you will help you to expedite the online check-in process so that you can get an early port arrival time. For Disney Cruise Line, online check-in opens 30 days before your embarkment day. It opens at 12:01 Eastern Standard Time. I would recommend you setting a timer or an alarm about 10 minutes before it's time to log in, just so that when it hits 12:01, you are ready to go. So just be mindful of what time zone you are in comparison and relation to Eastern Standard Time, so you know what time is go time. My second tip is to download the DCL app ahead of time. You don't even want to download it like the day before online check-in. This is an app that you want ready at your fingertips from the moment that you book your cruise. For a few reasons. One, they give you all kinds of alerts and reminders of when to book other things like excursions, spa appointments, restaurant reservations. Another fun feature of the app is to look at the countdown page and watch as it goes from however many days from when you first booked the cruise to 0 and all the characters show up. It's a lot of fun and it really gets you excited for your upcoming cruise. The app, for whatever reason, works better on online check-in day than the website. I don't know what it is. The website for me would stall. It would time out, break down, just malfunction, which is really frustrating when your main objective is to rush and go quickly so that you can get an early port arrival time. The app is like Old Faithful. It's still reliable and a lot easier to use. I remember on my most recent cruise, a family member of mine was using the website to log in and I was using the app, and they were like, Michelle, I can't even I can't upload anything. They won't let me move on from the page that they were stuck on. And I was almost completed. So for whatever reason, I do believe that the app is geared to maybe handle large traffic or I'm not gonna say what my assumptions are about it, but I know that the app will work, and it was definitely designed in mind thinking that passengers would use it to check in. So for sure, if you can use the app, it will help you, I promise, and it will make it a seamless process. So I'm going to go through a quick rundown of what kinds of documentation they will ask for in the online check-in process. If you have any questions, please comment down below and I'll try to answer as best as I can. If you're going and working with a travel agent for your cruise, I'm sure they will have the answers for most immigration and document questions, but let's dive into what you'll actually need for online check-in. The first being your passport. All the passengers will need a passport. I believe that for some sailings, birth certificates can be used and are valid, but I think it comes down to the immigration requirements for certain ports. So it just depends on what sailing you're on. Passports will always be the preferred identification document. So if you have a passport, by all means have that handy for the online check-in process. They will ask for you to take a picture of it. They will ask for a lot of the information like your passport number. So definitely have that out and available. Also, if you are an international traveler, they will need your visa. So whatever travel visa you've been given and authorized, you're going to need that as well to input that information. When you take photos of your passport and visas, it's best to take the photo horizontally. So you're going to want to take it in a landscape form with no glare. So to avoid glare, I would say try to take the photo as close as you can to the document without cutting off any of the data. Another thing that they will ask for is a security photo for all of the passengers in your party. So essentially, you're going to want to take a picture of everyone you're traveling with on a solid white background. So a wall will do, just a solid white wall, no hats on their head. We don't want any like glare or anything covering their face. I think you can wear glasses because that's what they would look like on a regular basis. They can smile. It isn't as strict as a passport photo, but you want to take the picture from the shoulders up. And this is mainly just so that the crew on the boat can identify who's coming in and off of the ship. This is definitely something that you can do ahead of time, especially if you're traveling with kids. You know, kids, when you're taking photos of them, they move, they make silly faces. It's a whole process. So you may need to do a few times to get it right. So definitely do it ahead of time. And of course, if you're waking up at some crazy hour in the morning, you don't want to wake up your kids to have to take a photo of them. So just do it before that 12:01 a.m. online check-in opens. The photo that you submit must be in PNG or JPEG format, so make sure that when you take the picture, that's what it's going to upload as. I know some of these fun, fancy phones do other formats, but that's the one that will be accepted by the app. Some other information that they will ask you for during this process is your travel plans. So where are you flying in from if you're flying in, and what flight number, what are your return home plans? What flight will you be returning on? Maybe what hotel are you staying at? So just have your travel plans for before and after the cruise ready and on hand, so you don't have to go scrolling through your phone looking for your flight number and the time that it arrives in Orlando. All right. If you're not traveling or you're driving, I think there is an option to say does not apply. But if you are flying in, these are things they will want to know in the event that, I don't know, the cruise is late to the port. They just want to be mindful of the logistics of all of their passengers. They will also ask you for a credit card number to put on file that is attached to your room account in the event that you buy anything on the boat, or bar charges, drink charges, popcorn, whatever, little expenses you may incur as you're on the cruise. They have some way to charge you. You can opt not to give them a credit card. I've heard of people using Disney gift cards to pay off their bill. So it's your choice. You can say you don't want to add a credit card, but if you do, have that credit card handy. Another thing that does not apply to everyone, but if you are taking a minor on the cruise who is not your child, you are not the legal guardian of this child, there is a form that needs to be filled out by the legal guardian, and it must be notarized, saying that it's okay for you to take this child on the cruise with you. I know sometimes our children have little friends that they want to bring on, or you're bringing your godchild or the cousin or whoever, and the parent is not coming, so they need to fill out this form. You can find the form under optional forms on the DCL app, and I can link it down below from the DCL website. Lastly, during online check-in, if you have children and are traveling with kids, you can begin the process of enrolling them in the Kids Club. So this is where you will provide them with a secret password in order to take your children out of the Kids Club. So think of that beforehand and be prepared to enter it during the online check-in. So once you finally submit all of that information and the documentation that they need, it will unlock the port arrival time. I know for me, when I selected mine, I was super excited. So you will see all of the time slots that are left and available, and you will choose the one that is best for your family. If it's the earliest one, then you do so. Usually it starts around 11 or 11:30. That's the earliest slot. Once you select your port arrival time, they're gonna give you like a cruise contract that is super long, and I don't know who reads it, but anyway, just accept that because you can't get on the boat without accepting it. And then they're going to give you a QR code. Now this code is quite important. The form that comes up, you are going to show that to the staff at the port several times before you even get on the boat. This QR code, they're going to check it at security. I think you even scan it again right before you get on the actual cruise ship. So it's definitely something that you'll want to save or print. Keep it handy. What we did, I saved mine on my Apple Wallet. So it was really easy to just show everyone and scan my phone as we were going through. But I also screenshot it as soon as they sent it to me. As soon as it came up on my screen, I screenshot for all 4 passengers that I was sailing with. There is a different QR code for everyone that you're sailing with, so make sure that you have all of your guests. And yeah, print or save or just keep that handy because you will need it. I know this may freak some people out. It definitely freaked me out. I was like, I did everything. Why is it saying pending review? So I actually called DCL and was like, listen, am I going to be able to get on this cruise ship? And they were like, it's fine. If you were able to access the port arrival time, then they have everything they need from you. If at any point you submitted a document that wasn't valid, it would let you know as soon as you tried to do it. And they wouldn't let you continue to the further steps in the online check-in process. So even though that pending review may stay there for some people up until the day that they get on the cruise ship, you are good to go. And if they need anything from you, they'll be sure to send you an email or contact you however you have asked them to. And if push comes to shove, they will sort you out at the port so long as you have that documentation that they need. So I don't know why I feel the need to remind people this, but make sure that you bring your passport and all of your documentation that we just talked about, just in case they need to check it at the port. All right, guys, I know that this was a bit of a chatty video, but I hope that it's helpful for some of you, especially if you've never done the online check-in process. If you have any questions, as always, shoot me a comment below and I'll try to answer it as best as I can. And I wish you a happy sailing and take care. Bye, guys.